deserves a lot of credit. He was giving credit to his crew for a good car, but he deserved a lot of credit for sitting in there tonight.
Celebration continuing down in victory lane. Let's check in with Dave Burns.
Well, Clint Boyer comes home fourth on a night when he desperately needed to do something very, very good. But you fought a loose race car and a speeding penalty on pit road, too. How'd you get here?
Yeah, the speeding penalty was my fault. I apologize to the guys, but I had to get up on the wheel and make it up for them. But Hamburger's Helpful Chevrolet, all weekend long, the guys did a good job. This is what we got to do. You know, we're in the pressure cooker, and the guys are responding in a good way. And I told them to have fun with this. It's my favorite racetrack, and, you know, we had fun with it. Isn't quite what we wanted, but top 5 runs is pretty good. I tell you what, love him or hate him, Little Terry did pretty good. Three races in a row winning right here. That's pretty cool for Kyle Busch.
And Clint, it seemed like tonight had the typical up and down of Bristol. You were in the mix, you were out of the mix, and you ended up in the mix. How do you focus on that all night and do this?
You know, this is that's short track racing at its best. You just got to go out there and race as hard as you can, take what it gives you, and you know, just never give up. I mean, you never know the outcome of this thing. I just knew the caution was going to come out and shake things up, and you know, he's going to have to play strategy and hold on. But it didn't. It was a good night for us, and proud of the guys.
Right now, you have another pursuer. Jamie McMurray is now the 13th place guy, but he's 100 points back with 2 to go. How do you assess it?
Well, you know, again, I mean, our cars are running well. I mean, 100 points is a lot. You know, it's a lot more than 35. You know, he did a good job tonight. He drove a good race. His car was good, and I expect they will be. But Mark Martin and Ryan Newman aren't out of this thing either. So we just got to keep digging, doing what we're doing, and they ain't going to catch us.
Great night for Clint.
It was indeed, and not a bad night for Matt Kenseth either. You finished 10th tonight. You had a right front go down, I think, with about 150 to go, and still were able to salvage it. Good night.
Yeah, we ran about 7th or 8th, I guess, most of the night. That's about what we were in the long run. We were a little better. Short run, we were a little worse. So, some reason we popped a right front. I don't really know why. A few of them all went there, and got fortunate the way the cautions fell and stayed on the lead lap.
Yeah, well done. Nice job tonight. 10th place for Matt Kenseth. Jamie Little.
And Coach Joe Gibbs here in victory lane, celebrating what a night it's been like for you. Coach, what is this moment like for you to sweep the weekend, something no other owner's ever done?
Well, I think the thing we love about sports, there's so many highs and so many lows. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. As an example, Denny tonight, you know, we have break a piece, and I felt bad for FedEx, but on this side, this is a real thrill. I think for everybody on the race team, this is extremely hard to do. I know Kyle was geared up for it, and yeah, I went over to his motorhome before the race. I said, whatever happens, I know you're going to give it your best. Just, hey, we'll do the best with what happens tonight. He did the best. I just really appreciate Doublemint and the Mars people. Everybody's been great over there for us. It's been a great relationship. I appreciate all of them, and everybody's not here. We're celebrating for you.
Coach, you were a little bit late getting up here to victory lane. Of course, you were over with Denny Hamlin, who had a tough night, finished 34th, and now you're here celebrating. What is it like for you on both sides of the fence tonight?
I tell you, the one thing about 3 cars, it's rarely ever that we leave the racetrack where everybody's happy. And so I guess you never get used to that. And this sport is extremely tough. This crowd tonight, was that awesome or what? You're looking up there and saying, this is an awesome place, an awesome crowd. Hopefully everybody out there enjoyed it. I just know the Lord's blessed us with a great experience tonight. We're going to enjoy it. And yeah, it was a thrill.
Congratulations. Coach Joe Gibbs. Marty?
And the coach mentioned Denny Hamlin having a rough night. Yes, it was. 34th, 27 laps down. And the last 4 Nationwide Cup double sweeps in the weekend have been by his drivers at Joe Gibbs Racing. Well, as the fireworks continue, let's check in with Dave Burns.
Casey Kane endured a little bit of the typical Bristol night. Penalized for speeding. I guess penalized for running over something that gave you a flat tire. Which one concerned you more?
I don't know what happened with the flat tire. I just the speeding. I sped around the whole pit road, so I just needed to slow my whole speed limit down. We were just a little too fast there. We did that, and we're good the rest of the race. Just had a lot of cars to pass. Budweiser team did a nice job. Ford engine ran good, and we just weren't quite good enough to run with, say, Kyle and his 00, but we were still pretty good.
I mean, it seemed like, yeah, if you could get up there, then you'd have something for him, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I think I got about as far as I could. Clint got me right there at the end. He passed a bunch of cars tonight, too. So I'd say we were about a 5th place car, and we ran 5th.
After your 11th place qualifying run, were you surprised that you ran as well as you did, or did the qualifying really set it up for you and let you know you were going to have a good Bristol night?
Well, I'd say the biggest thing was Kenny Francis and Keith, our engineer. We weren't very good yesterday in practice. We qualified pretty good, and they looked at that and compared things and found a really good setup for tonight. So I was happy with the way the car started. Then we just started passing cars, and we're kind of in the middle of the pack. And it's tough. I mean, everybody goes so hard here. It's tough to pass that many cars in one night. We had a pretty good car.
All right, they did it, and for the 3rd time in his 14 starts at Bristol, Kasey Kahne finishes in the top 5.
Well, and 4 of those drivers, including Kasey Kahne, rebounded from disaster or near disaster to finish in the top 10, along with Jamie McMurray, Clint Boyer, and Matt Kenseth. Those 4 managing to do what we talked about. You've got to be resilient, and you brought it up at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, it's just a tough racetrack, and I think that's what makes this young man's accomplishment even more of a great feat. You know, we said and documented he tried to go for this at 4 other times before this weekend. To do it here at Bristol, almost 1,000 laps of racing, and to come out on top in 3 different divisions, 3 totally different vehicles, just shows what incredible talent he has.
Yeah, it almost made this night look easy for him by starting in the rear with his truck, and the troubles that he had last night, he made it almost look easy tonight, although this is a very difficult race to win.
So as we get ready, I mean, Kyle can clinch his spot in the chase for the championship with a 40th or better next week.
Yeah, they put themselves in position there. Once again, those 10 bonus points again tonight got him within 20 of what the 2 guys up front would have. So a big night for these guys in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, it was just a big night overall. What a great crowd. I've never seen it any better here. It was just a great night overall.
It really was. All right, let's tell you what's coming up on the calendar, because we've got a lot coming your way. We'll start off with NASCAR Nows tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern over on ESPN2. And then the Nationwide Series heads north of the border to Montreal Sunday, 2 o'clock Eastern. That also on ESPN2. And Cup Series has next week off, but in 2 weeks, Labor Day weekend from Atlanta, Sunday, September 5th, 7:30 Eastern. That also on ESPN. And we'll send it down to the pit studio for Nicole, and you guys take us home.
Marty, DJ, Andy, thank you very much. Some perspective of the 956 laps led and raced around this track this weekend. Kyle Busch led 515 of them. That is 54%. And Ray, when you sat back and said, wow, this is really something that no one has ever done.
Now, this kid is doing an incredible job, and he is really starting to click now with his new crew chief, Dave Rogers. I think they could end up being a bigger factor in this chase than anybody's given them credit for. And we saw some great racing tonight. All in all, the Have At It boys really didn't come to fruition. The guys really raced well, and we saw some good racing.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to Kyle Busch, Dave Rogers, Joe Gibbs Racing. It's an outstanding feat that these guys accomplished over this past week. Shows the incredible talent that Kyle Busch has. Once again, another tough night for our former champ, Jimmy Johnson, as well as Tony Stewart. Both of those guys fell a little bit in the point system, so it continues to be interesting, Rusty. I think Kyle Busch, though, could be a threat come chase time.
Well, he did a good job, no doubt about that. But some of the guys that really impressed me were Jamie McMurray and Clint Boyer. They got it done when they needed to get it done. They had to catch up in the points. They both really ran strong tonight. A good run out of both of those.
Well, hey, the next week, the Sprint Cup Series takes a breather. We head north of the border, though, for the NASCAR Nationwide Series race at Montreal. That is next Sunday, 2 Eastern on ESPN2. The next Sprint Cup race comes to you from Atlanta Sunday, September 5th, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Congrats once again to Kyle Busch, who swept the weekend.
Drivers, start your engine!
Welcome to good old Bristol.
And the Irwin Tools 500 is green. Now the 12 of Brad Keselowski can look over and say, hello, Kyle.
The sun has set at Bristol Motor Speedway. It is officially a night race.
3 wide, 0 on the bottom.
Whoa! Johnson gets turned. He's into the wall.
Man, this has not been going good for them.
What the hell? What a weekend. You're about to see history.
What the weekend